So children, discussing about the key features of democracy. There are many key features in democracy like liberty, equality, fraternity, regular elections, rule of law, people are sovereign, believes in the constitutional means, guarantee of basic human rights, separation of power, governance of the public goods, and participation of the citizens in the politics and civic life. Okay, so starting with the rule by the people. So in democracy, a democracy is a political system where people choose the government through elections. People choose their leader from competing parties. Thus, the people decide who will represent them in the parliament. Now, students, what is parliament? A parliament is a body of elected representatives who govern the country on the behalf of the people. Now, coming to the next basic feature, justice and equality. Now, justice and equality are the two very important pillars of democracy. Justice means what? It is to give each one what is due to him or her as a person. Okay, and what is equality? It is defined by our constitution that every citizen is equal before the law. There shall be no discrimination by the virtue of caste, sex, religion, wealth, etc. Every citizen has been guaranteed equal political, economic and civil rights. Okay. Now you can see the picture given on the screen. You can see a blindfolded lady with the scale of justice. What do you think? What do you understand by this picture? This blindfolded lady with a weigh scale in the hand just implies that the judiciary in our democratic system is just impartial. That means no partiality in any means. The next is the guarantee of basic human rights to every citizen. In a democracy, every citizen has certain basic rights or fundamental rights. And which are the fundamental rights? Do you know about it? The fundamental rights are the right to freedom of speech and action, the right to equality, the right to freedom of religion, the right to information, the right to travel and settle anywhere you want in the country, the right to associate with other people, the right to assemble freely and to protest. We're talking about the rule of law. In democracy, the administration is not carried out on the wish of any particular individual or a group of individuals, but according to some fixed law which are supreme. In a democracy, there are several laws to limit the power of the government, to maintain order, to protect rights of the citizens. All citizens are equal in the eye of law. No one may be discriminated against on the basis of race, religion, ethnic group or gender. That means every individual, whomsoever it may be, but all are equal before the law. Maybe it can be the person can be the prime minister of the country or president of the country. Still everyone is equal. Next is separation of powers. To ensure smooth governance, most democracy divide the powers of the government into three bodies. That is, first one is the legislature, and it is the body which is concerned with the making of the laws. Second is the executive. It deals with the execution of the laws. And the third one is the judiciary. The next one is governance for the public good. Now, in monarchy or in dictatorship, the people have no control over the way the government works. But in democratic country, in the democracy, the government is elected to work for the good of the country. Next one is the participation of citizens in politics. Now, we common people, do you think we participate in everything of the government? The citizens of the democracy participates actively in the functioning of government. The citizens are well informed of the issues faced by the country. The people elect their representatives carefully after listening to various agendas given by them, and once elected, the citizens continue to keep and watch. They keep on watching, and they keep on they observe everything, whatever was promised to them and what the representatives are doing today. They keep on keeping a watch on the citizens they have elected as the representative. The next is the limits and requirements for the democracy. Now, what are the limits? People must respect the law and reject violence. Democracy requires compromise. Group with different interests and opinions must be willing to sit down with one another and negotiate. In a democracy, different groups win on different issues. But if one group is always excluded, it may turn against the democracy in anger and frustration. Every citizen must respect the rights of the fellow citizens and their dignity as human beings. Equality in Indian democracy. Indian Constitution recognizes every person as equal. Every individual in the country, irrespective of gender, caste, religion, tribe, educational and economic backgrounds, are recognized as equal. In the Indian society, some peoples are said to belong to so-called dominant caste simply because they are born in a particular caste, while others are considered so-called subordinate caste. In order to solve such problems, we need to root out old prejudices. Okay. So, democracy provides us equality in the terms of social equality. If we talk about political equality, if we talk about economic equality, in every perspective. Now, political equality, the Constitution states that all the citizens have equal political rights. The Constitution lays down many provisions to promote political equality. That is, for example, universal adult franchise is given to all the adult citizens who are of the age of 18 years in India without any discrimination based on caste, creed, sex, can vote. They have the right to vote. It states that all people are equal before the law. Provisions in the Constitution, every person, as I said, is equal before the law. Nobody can be discriminated against on the basis of religion, race, caste, gender, etc. Every person has access to all public places. Untouchabilities has been abolished. So if a real democracy is to be established, then equal economic disparity will have to be minimized. Our Constitution guarantees equality to all its citizens. The government made efforts to minimize all types of inequalities in two ways: through the laws and the various government welfare programs and the schemes. The government is making best efforts to reduce the poverty ratios. One such welfare program is the midday meal scheme, which was launched in 1995, and the main motive behind this program was to provide food to the undernourished children. This scheme has worked very well, and as a result there is decrease in the dropout rate of the children, and more enrollment has been observed in many years. Moreover, intermingling at meal times has helped in the reduction of the caste prejudices. Being encouraged by its success, the scheme was extended to all areas across the countries from 1st April 2008. And the matter that you should know, the fact you should know, it was first introduced in Tamil Nadu. And the objective was only that to increase the enrollment of the students. In 2001, the Supreme Court asked all the states to encourage this. Now, inequality still exists in our country. Although we are living in 21st century, but we cannot say that we don't see inequality. All this is bookish knowledge that all are equal in the eyes of this and that, but still inequality exists. Even today there is a big difference between schools that the rich attend and those that the poor attend. There are several schools in the country in which Dalit children like Om Prakash Valmiki are discriminated against and treated unequally. Now you will think, who is this Dalit boy Valmiki or Dalit boy Om Prakash? What the teacher is talking about? Yes, I'm talking about a famous Dalit writer Om Prakash Valmiki, who wrote his autobiography Juthan. This is a story of a schoolboy who was the son of Dalit. He described his school experiences as how he had to sit away in the classroom from the students of so-called dominant caste. He was forced to sit on the floor. Even the mat ran short of the spot where he was made to sit on. Most of the times, he was made to sit near the door of the classroom. One day, he was ordered by the headmaster of the school to sweep the floor of the entire school, including the playground. Being very weak, it was very tough and challenging task for him. He, however, had no choice but to sweep the floor of the school and its huge playground. While his classmates were studying, he was sweeping the class. The headmaster watched over him constantly and did not even allow him to drink water. Throughout the day, he cleaned the school and was asked to do the same for the next few days as well. One day, when his father saw him sweeping the school floor instead of studying, he took him to the headmaster. Valmiki's father had a hot debate with him before they left the school. His father blamed the teacher for their unethical attitude. He told the teachers that though they were leaving, Valmiki would continue to study right there in the school, and that there will be more children like Valmiki coming after him. Democracy enhances human dignity by providing them political rights and protecting them. In a democracy, maximum interest of the people are safeguarded and protected by providing an environment in which an individual is free to develop his or her personality. So what do you think? How to remove inequality? Only by talking or only by reading in the books? We cannot remove it. We have to remove it. It is only when we start believing. Only when we start treating everyone, every individual, every living being, we start respecting each one. We start believing that everyone is equal. No one is inferior. Understood? Issues of equality in other democracies. Do you think that there are issues in countries of developed, which we call as developed nations? There are issues like inequalities. Issues of inequalities were also witnessed by many developed countries of the world. For example, African Americans in the United States of America. Ancestors of African Americans were slaves who were brought from Africa. Before 1950s, they were treated extremely unequally in the United States and denied equality through the law. In late 1950s, they raised their voice against inequality towards them. The movement started when Rosa Parks, an African-American woman, was returning home after the war. In the course of her journey back home, the exhausted lady occupied a seat on the bus. A white man asked her to give up her seat, but she refused to do so. This relatively minor incident triggered a huge agitation against the unequal treatment to the African Americans, and it was the reason that started a movement called as civil rights movement in the world history. As a result, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed. This act prohibited the discrimination on the basis of race, religion, birth or origin, but the long period of inequality and neglect had taken its toll. Today, the African Americans continue to enjoy the equal status and liberty in the country. Despite this, the majority of the poor people are still from the African Americans.